Ukrainian drones struck at least 4 Wildberries logistics facilities across Russia overnight into July 24th, in St. Petersburg, the surrounding Leningrad region, Tver, and occupied Crimea, marking one of the widest single-night operations against the company yet, and the furthest strike of this campaign, reaching nearly 900 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. The company's own co-founder, Tatyana Kim, Russia's wealthiest woman, confirmed the strikes directly on Friday morning, saying facilities in St. Petersburg, the Leningrad region, and Crimea were all hit overnight. Fires broke out at several locations, though Kim said parts of the warehouses were saved. She added that no Wildberries employees were injured in the strikes. In St. Petersburg itself, 2 separate facilities were targeted. The first was the Shushary Distribution Center, located in the Pushkinsky district along the Moskovskoye Highway, the company's largest proprietary logistics hub in northwestern Russia, covering more than 100,000 square meters, and notably, a facility that had already been rebuilt once before, after a major fire in 2024. St. Petersburg Governor Alexander Beglov confirmed that a drone struck civilian infrastructure on that same highway, though he did not officially name Wildberries as the target. Wildberries itself later confirmed the connection when it said operations at its Shushary center had been suspended. The second target was the Utkina Zavad Logistics Park, technically located just across the city's administrative border in the village of Novosaratovka, Leningrad region, but functioning as part of St. Petersburg's supply network. Leningrad Region Governor Alexander Drozdenko confirmed a Wildberries warehouse in Novosaratovka caught fire and reported that 3 people were injured in that specific strike. Drozdenko also said 59 drones were intercepted over his region overnight, giving some sense of the scale of the broader attack. Independent Russian outlet Astra, working from eyewitness footage, corroborated both locations. Satellite imagery released by NASA showed 2 distinct smoke plumes rising over the city, visible from space, and on the ground, the disruption extended beyond the warehouses themselves, with roughly 50 flights delayed at St. Petersburg's Pulkovo airport. The same overnight window also saw a Wildberries sorting center hit in Simferopol, in Russian-occupied Crimea, sparking a major fire there as well, and a 4th facility reportedly struck in Tver. Combined with earlier strikes this week, different outlets are counting this as either the 3rd, 4th, or 5th Wildberries-related attack in 7 days, depending on exactly how individual facility hits are tallied, but the underlying pattern is the same regardless of the exact count. This is now a sustained, near-daily campaign, not a series of isolated incidents. Separately, and more seriously in terms of casualties, authorities in Russia's Kirov region reported that at least 6 people were killed and more than 24 others injured in a strike on an industrial enterprise there overnight. President Volodymyr Zelensky later confirmed on Friday that Ukrainian forces had struck both the Kirov facility and the Wildberries logistics network in the same operation. As for why Wildberries specifically has become a repeated target, Zelensky has previously said the facilities hit in this campaign were being used to supply sanctioned components for Russian drone production and navigation equipment. Direct military supply chain involvement, not simply retail warehousing. That rationale is consistent with the pattern building since this campaign began on July 18th, when strikes on Wildberries facilities in Elektrostal and Kotovsk killed 8 employees and were, at the time, the deadliest single strike inside Russia in 2 years. Since then, the list of hit facilities has grown quickly. Krasnodar and Novosibirsk on July 22nd, Voronezh on July 23rd, and now St. Petersburg, Leningrad region, Crimea, and Tver on July 24th. According to figures reported by Kommersant based on open data, and excluding this latest wave entirely, the campaign had already disabled roughly 8% of Wildberries' total logistics capacity, about 444,000 square meters of space, with damage estimated at 60 billion rubles, and restoration costs projected around 35.5 billion rubles. What makes the St. Petersburg strike specifically notable isn't just the company involved, it's the distance and the target. St. Petersburg is Russia's second-largest city, roughly 900 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, and one of the most heavily air-defended urban centers in the country. A successful strike reaching that deep, hitting 2 separate facilities in the same metro area in one night, signals that Ukraine's long-range drone capability is now reaching targets well beyond what most of this campaign has covered so far. 2 St. Petersburg facilities suspended, a 3rd hit in Crimea, a fourth in Tver, 6 people dead in a separate Kirov strike, and Zelensky's own confirmation tying it all together. That's your grid reference for today. Subscribe for tomorrow's numbers.